Hello. We are out in my garden where I like to spend a lot of time. So maybe we'll hear birds. I'm sure we'll hear the cicadas making noise. But here we are. I've been away a few weeks and now I'm back. I had surgery done on my knee and now my knee is getting better. So the story today is about a boy who turns into a man, but a boy named Samuel. And one of the big things about Samuel and his family is that they learned and were able to trust and obey God in what God has asked them to do. So, we're going to start with the game. You know Simon Says, right? Where Simon says, tap your head. Simon says, clap. You know that? And then if the person doesn't say Simon Says, you don't do it. So we're going to do it some different words. All right, trust and obey. Those are the words for today. Trust and obey, clap your hands. Trust and obey, pat your head. Flap your wings. Did you do it? Did you hear trust and obey? Mm-mm. All right, trust and obey, touch your nose. Trust and obey, wiggle your ears. Trust and obey, go la 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 la. Now stop because we're going to clap. All right, maybe you were really good and each time you stopped when I didn't say trust and obey. So I'm going to start reading from one of our beginner Bible, okay? All right, so the story today, we're going to start off with the couple. And like so many stories that we've had, they don't have any children. And they're sad about that. So this couple, Hannah and her husband, they went to the tabernacle, which is like the church, but it was even more special, like the church's church. Big place. Okay, she was very sad because she had no children. And she wanted a baby very badly. So one day she and her husband went to worship God in the tabernacle. Hannah prayed to God there. She cried and she said, if only you give me a baby, I will let him work for you all his life. So here she is praying. A priest named Eli saw Hannah. He knew something was wrong, so he went up to her. She told him, Hannah, what she was doing, that she was praying for a baby. And he said, go home in peace. May God give you what you have asked him for. And Hannah did go home. And God remembered her prayer, and he gave Hannah a baby boy, and she named him Samuel. So she trusted God and she obeyed in that she had promised Samuel to live his life for God. And when he was a young boy, a few years old, she brought him back to Eli, who was a priest, and had Samuel stay there so he could start to learn how to serve God and how to trust and obey God through Eli, the high priest. All right, so the second part of our story is here's Samuel sleeping in bed, and he heard a voice in the night. And so he had gone to bed, and he heard a voice calling him, and he thought, oh, Eli wants me. So he got up, and he ran to Eli, and he said, here I am. Eli said, I didn't call you. Go back to bed. So Samuel went back to bed. Then he heard it again. Samuel. Samuel got up, and again he ran to Eli. Here I am. I'm here. I did not call you, said Eli. Go back to bed. But then Samuel went to bed again, and he heard that voice again. Samuel. And he ran to Eli. I'm here. You called me. And Eli knew that it was God that was calling him. And he said, go and lie down If you hear the voice again, say, "Speak, Lord, I am listening." So Samuel lay down in his bed. Soon God called again, "Samuel, Samuel." And Samuel sat up and said, "Lord, I'm listening." And God spoke to Samuel. And from then on, God talked to Samuel. Samuel told God's people what God said. Samuel was a prophet. Samuel learned to trust and obey God. His mother and father did. After they had the baby, they kept the promise that they had made to God to bring Samuel. And Samuel was able to still see his family. He saw that they were able to come and visit. But Samuel did learn to be a young man who listened and trusted and obeyed, and God used him greatly throughout his lifetime. Samuel spoke for the Lord, and people were able to hear and obey. So that is today's lesson, and I thought I'd give you a quick tour. I'm not sure how well this will work, of the garden. Alrighty, let's see. All right, we've got a lot of these yellow flowers here that are blooming. And if you go around, we have a pond. We have goldfish in our pond. And we had a bunch of frogs, but we haven't been seeing them lately. And then another thing, I'm just going to show you some flowers that if you were to put your hand out, I don't think your hand would be as big as the flower is. Alrighty, well, oops, here, let me get my face in. I am so glad to be able to be back with you guys, and we will see you next week.